Smith is acknowledged to be one of the early pioneers who set up the discipline of economics.
Some would say the kind of founding father of economics.
But it was both his breadth and depth of his scholarship that was and remains really breathtaking.
I'm an economist, so to me he's a pretty big deal.
Every discipline, no doubt, has its pivotal players, but for economists and many other social scientists, Adam Smith certainly qualifies as just such a pivotal player.
In many ways, economists have taken themes in Smith, particular themes in Smith, developed them, and in the process generated new and interesting economic insights.
To me, Adam Smith speaks about some of the social and societal demands and the way that an individual operates in society, for good or bad, as being highly relevant to the way that we operate in society today. So I think what Adam Smith gives us is a way of starting to think about those relationships that we have in society and what the consequences of those relationships may be.
The bit of Smith that I personally find most interesting is theory of moral sentiments. So in that book, Smith talks about how it's not only material deprivation that a poor man that characterizes poverty, it's also the fact of shame. So a poor man is ashamed of his poverty. This idea that there is a stigma and individuals often react to their circumstances by internalizing that stigma. This is, I think, maybe a step beyond what Smith thought, but it is actually very important for the work that I do, because I have shown through my own research that actually once people internalize the stigma, this can have all types of different consequences on the choices they make. And in some sense, the cause for the stigma and the internalization of stigma is not some random event. It systematically relates to the conditions that people find themselves in.
So my research is on equality, diversity and inclusion, and I think probably the work that Adam Smith wrote that's most relevant to that is the theory of moral sentiments. This idea of kind of building up our moral sense of self through the accumulation of experience really speaks to the idea of how equality, diversity and inclusion work. I'm interested in ageism and also sexism. Now, Adam Smith wasn't a gender scholar. I don't think we can stretch the imagination there, but what we can actually see in his work is that, you know, how people build up this accumulative experience and what's right and perhaps what might not be so right over time. And I think that's highly relevant for how we live in a sexist and ageist society today. So I think for my work, the accumulative experience is really that we see in Smith's work is really relevant.
My research probably is more in line with theory of moral sentiments, and in that book Adam Smith discusses people's motivations and their behaviour, and that really is quite well aligned to the type of research that I do. I look at people's choices, what choices do they make and why do they make those choices.
So I think his work really for our students is a treasure trove in terms of helping them think critically about how they navigate their way through life. He doesn't necessarily provide a kind of hard and fast rule as to how you should live your life, but we don't want our students going into the workplace, you know, thinking that there's a rule book and that's the way to approach it. What we want is real critical thinkers that are able to recognise that the world is a complex place.
Here at the Adam Smith Business School, we are really trying to foster our students to have an inquiring mind, to challenge ideas, to look at not only their own behaviour but also look at the behaviour of people around them, and that really is in the spirit of Adam Smith's writings.
For all those reasons, I think we are indebted to Smith.